on screen, unfortunately. They might have the little, notification pop up along the bottom, but unless they do something like that, you guys don't know what happened. Ornn, of course, first picked here by FlyQuest Academy, just too strong of a champion in the top lane, and they picked up the set encounter. That's typically how you go. You normally handshake on those two champions just because if you ban one, the other team has to ban the other one. So it's a weird handshake that almost every pro team does. So you take the Ornn, you take the set. But they flexed this set into the bot lane when FlyQuest Academy started to pinch engage support champions during phase 2. Now that's a very interesting adaptation. If anybody has been watching the LCK, it was played last night, I want to believe, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that pickup. We do see 3 members of FlyQuest Academy here starting to look for a late invade. It seems like Kindred wanted to go in on the Sejuani, who might not have the best level 1. You do have a Braum with the concussive blows. They will be seen on their entrance here. Winter's Bite is going to connect on the Huhi. Volley of arrows comes out as well. They're trying to get the stun down and will come out, but the Haymaker forcing everyone to back away there from FlyQuest Academy, but they're not done here. They're going to try and pick up this blue buff. It's real tense. There's a ward that's been dropped in the bush, and instead blue buff will just reset. FlyQuest Academy always making these early level 1s so awkward for the opposing team. They're still going on this one. They're trying to pick this one up as best as they can. Fnatic walking forward again, getting another auto attack onto this blue buff. Drops down the W in order to zone away hard. Will there be a collapse here? Huhi does find his way in. The Ignite is dropped. They're trying to get onto this Kindred. Flash forward in order to try and get another auto attack. He doesn't have enough damage, though. They finally do find the stun coming out by the Sejuani. Double flash is blown, though. Is Goriko going to be able to get this one? No, the heal comes in. Goriko, one more auto attack. Not going to be able to get it, but the flash does. First blood coming out for Goriko. Trying to continue on to JJ here. Will he be able to find it? No. Instead, forced to back away there. And an overextension coming out by FlyQuest Academy. Super bloody level 1. And they just are trying way too hard to make that one work. You don't have the backup there now that Huhi can come in and get that flank. He was able to just put in so much work. And, with the melee support coming in, it meant that Hart actually had the potential to get the E down, the permafrost on to Fnatic there, so was able to get the extra damage down, the CC, even through the Kindred's flash. And now Fnatic is going to be super far behind because Kindred is a tempo jungler. You want to get early invades, be playing super aggressively, finding the marks that you can wherever you go through the enemy jungle. But now that he's already behind in tempo, it means that he's going to struggle to get to any of the camps first. He's going to be going straight from red to blue buff here, trying to get his double buffs in order to contest the scuttle crabs that are spawning onto the map just now. Typically, one of those scuttle crabs will be the first mark of the game for Kindred, but already we see FlyQuest coming in and taking this bottom scuttle in order to try and force that mark to spawn on the top side scuttle. So good job by FlyQuest Academy there, picking up a double scuttle. Going to be trying to go a little bit aggressive on the bottom side. Concussive blows comes out. Var is getting a lot of stacks. The Haymaker thrown out, and the shield sticking around just long enough so that Mash's piercing arrow does not find the health bar of Huhi. So great job there. Both finding a strong engage on the side of FlyQuest Academy and disengaging in an effective manner by Golden Gardens Academy. And now that we've seen a little bit of the early action, I want to go back to talking about the team compositions. Set was flexed into the bot side of the map, and on the other hand, because of that, it allows for Golden Guardians to pick up the Gangplank for Zion Spartan in the top lane. Now, this champion, super safe top laner, is able to be picked blind here, and it was kind of the giveaway that the set was going bot lane when it was picked 4th pick on red side. So, it's also another good counter into Ornn, because Ornn is not capable of forcing hard engages in the top side. At least not enough damage in the early game onto a Gangplank. So you have this scaling top laner, relatively safe, who's going to be shoving out wave after wave into this Ornn. And the Ornn just wants to scale. The Ornn just wants to farm and hit the late game where he's going to be able to start building items for his teammates, but that's exactly what the Gangplank wants as well. And Gangplank is able to shove the wave more effectively, which means that the Gangplank is going to be able to deal more, is going to be able to get more of that farm effectively through the top lane gameplay here. On top of that, having the oranges means he's super safe in case there's ever an engage coming in by the likes of the Kindred of the Ornn. He's going to be able to just take the orange. It's going to be K, walk away from any kind of CC there. We already see him able to just walk away from the billowing breath there. He's trying to go up for a parlay in order to get that grass proc, but unfortunately not going to be able to find it. Meanwhile, bot lane though, we do see FlyQuest Academy cheesing away this dragon. There's no wards in this pit, so a free Mountain Drake going over for FlyQuest at the 5:40-minute mark. Interesting that they're able to take that one away hard. Also showing up on the bottom side of the map, but unfortunately just did not have the vision or the information available to know that one was going on. So free dragon going over to FlyQuest Academy. And besides the early game invades, we don't see a whole lot of action going on between these two teams. Fnatic trying to make that level 1 work as hard as he could, unfortunately did not. We might finally see some action here though, as Hard is showing up in the bot lane. Set walking forward, is able to get the pullback on his E. Sejuani comes forward, they're going to be able to find the stun. They do, as Mash is going to fall down to Huhi, picking that one up with the Haymaker. Fantastic job, Fnatic finally showing up here as well to try and prevent this turret from taking too much damage, but this might just be the dive coming out. It's going to be Hearts taking this one up at first. He's going to be able to find a kill for himself. Teleport coming in by the Ornn, but it's a little too late as he comes in. Revenge gets the Ornhorn down, but only finds Huhi. Gorka taking out the turret. It's going to be taking so much damage. Are the minions going to be able to finish him? No, they're not. One more minion wave showing up for Golden Guardians Academy. They're going to be able to try and finish this one off. They're juggling turret as best they can, but finally, Revenge will go down, but not before trading back for Hard's life. And at the end of the day, it is a 4-for-1 Golden Guardians taking a massive advantage on that bot side play. They will be walking away with not only the extra gold and kills, but a TP advantage as well, as Zion Spartan decided to stay topside this entire time, was able to push out that wave, and only had to use the cannon barrage. Another huge bonus to running the gangplank in the top lane. If you don't always have to use that teleport to show up for the fight, they had already won the team fight, so the only influence you need from your top laner there is the ultimate in order to slow down the Ornn and provide a better dive for the rest of his team. It's fantastically played there by Golden Guardians. On top of their play there, we do see FlyQuest trying to get something back in return here, as 3 people sitting in a bush on the bottom side of this mid lane. Unfortunately, Triple did not have the Emperor's Divide available there. We can see it's on cooldown, so he tried to go in for the Shurima Shuffle, but not going to be able to connect without the ultimate ability available at that time. Instead, this will mean, though, that the bot lane of FlyQuest Academy has already rotated up towards the top side of the map, and now we're going to be seeing the classic Clutch Gaming Rift Herald lane swap. You send the bot side towards the top side of the map, you start the Rift Herald at the 8-minute mark. It's even more effective in the Season 10 meta because of the fact that there's 2 Rift Heralds available now. So you can take that first Rift Herald, use it purely for plates to try and get some extra gold into whoever your carry potential is. And more importantly, it means that you're going to be forcing the tempo on the objective for the second Herald. Second Herald, which we'll call Shirley instead of Shelly. With Shelly going down here, going to be going over to Golden Guardians Academy. They all rotated over, forcing FlyQuest away from that one. But with Shirley, it does far more damage than the first Shelly of the game. It's able to nearly one-shot any turret, whether it be the inner, the inhibitor, the outer, any one of those turrets. The amount of damage that it does is an insane amount. At least like 4/5 of the turret damage puts it extremely close to death. And so when you pick up that second Rift Herald of the game, it's oftentimes used in order to force mid lane turrets to go down, in order to open up the rest of the map for your team, in order to make macro plays for the additional third dragon that's going to be spawning at that time of the game, or for the Baron that normally spawns in just a couple of minutes, because there is that 6-minute timer before the Rift Herald spawns for the second time. Now, Sejuani Hard showing up on the bottom side here, jumping over to mid lane is Triple using the Emperor's Divide. Chaos Storm is traded back in return as the Emperor's Divide did not land, so Triple losing almost all of his health there in a bad trade versus a Blaze Olive. He did get the flash out of the Victor though, so we might be seeing some return ganks coming in by Fnatic, but no, it's going to be double flash coming up by the bot lane of FlyQuest Academy. Sejuani shows up over the wall and throws out the Glacial Prison, but is not going to be enough, as that one is going to be going over to Mash, finding a pick onto a Blaze Olive. Blowing double flashes on your bot lane might not be the play in order to find a kill on the mid laner, but gold is gold, and when you're this far behind in the early game from FlyQuest Academy, anything will help. They are sitting at a 2,500 deficit just at the 10-minute mark, so getting some extra gold onto your AD carry is great here, but it does mean that bot lane is completely open for Golden Guardians Academy. Now, I like this play here. Pick up 2 plates, then drop the Rift Herald. 3 people from FlyQuest are showing up in order to try and stop this one. Set finds a great pullback. The Kindred ultimate drop, and Set uses the ultimate on the pull Fnatic out of that one. Mash is going to get jumped on. He's going to get killed. Double kill coming in for Golden Guardians Academy. Flash forward by Huhi in order trying to keep this one going, but is barely not going to be able to find it as Gorica will flash forward and is able to find that kill. Instead, finding a pick on a JJ. Rift Herald still alive. Will find a second charge onto this inner bot lane turret. And again, it is another clean bot lane dive coming out by Golden Guardians Academy. Dragon will be their reward for that one, as everybody on the side of FlyQuest Academy is either dead or forced to deal with the Rift Herald and the bot lane farm. So a free Windrake going over to Golden Guardians Academy here. Fantastically played by them once again. And I was trying to mention before the whole fight broke out that I liked the use of the Rift Herald there, because the best way to use the early game Rift Herald is to take 2 turret plates first, because you get the reduced armor during that time, and after taking 2 turret plates with multiple members sitting around the turret, that's when the armor increases. However, Rift Herald's charge damage does true damage and will ignore the additional armor that the turret platings will get once you have taken down those first 2 plates. So by doing that, what it did is it guaranteed additional damage and additional gold into the pockets of Golden Guardians, on top of the fact that they won that team fight so handily, mainly due to the fact that Huhi just had an insane pullback with his E there, able to find 3 members, get them stunned up using the minion wave that was also coming in by the side of FlyQuest Academy, gets the stun, forces the Kindred ult, and then immediately just throws the Kindred out of his own ultimate in order to pick up the kill super quick there. And once that happened, it was just over for the rest of FlyQuest Academy. But meanwhile, mid lane, we have another fight breaking out. This time it is a Blaze Ult getting picked off once more, but Azir trading his life for that one. Hard trying to come in, finds the Glacial Prison, is going to be able to find its way onto Mash, and will find a second kill for Golden Guardians Academy. This time in the mid lane, and Hard on point with these ultimates today. Sejuani popping off, constantly finding his way onto the vital carries of FlyQuest Academy, particularly Mash, who's just not having a good time here. You need to be seeing JJ stepping in front of those Glacial Prisons, using the Unbreakable in order to prevent that CC from finding its way onto the Varus. But unfortunately, time and time again, we just see Hard sniping his way around this Braum support in order to find the Varus, and doing a fantastic job by the side of Golden Guardians Academy to force pressure onto this very weak early game that was drafted by the FlyQuest bot lane. MF, known for doing a massive amount of damage, Set on top of that also doing a huge amount of damage that he's able to get up in your face. And so I like to see them playing to their win condition here, playing through the bot lane. You have topside and midside who are both playing scaling picks. You do not need to worry about those guys in the early game, making sure that they get ahead. So Hard spending all of his time towards the bot side, making sure that Gorica and Huhi have the help and the advantages that they need in order to make their picks work here. So knowing the win conditions by the side of Golden Guardians Academy, doing a fantastic job playing around their bottom side where they have the early game advantages, has resulted so far in what is now a 6,000 gold lead at just 14 minutes into the game. That is a massive amount of gold, and we can see how it's affecting these team fights. You have a completed jungle item and boots on Hard, where it's just the jungle item completed for Fnatic. You have a completed Essence Reaver with a pickaxe being picked up by Gorica here, and only sitting on the Bork by Mash. And just across the board, the amount of goal differences we're seeing from these players. But hold on, team fight coming out mid. Revenge drops to Ornhorn, trying to find his way onto Hard, but that is the Sejuani. That is not the person you want to be focusing on. It is going to be the Set walking forward, trying to get onto Revenge. Uses the Showstopper in order to pull the Ornn away, but a flash response means that Revenge keeps himself alive. Lots of ultimates blown there, but no kills given over either direction. Few summoners as well. Ornn will be flashless now. But at the end of the day, ultimates blown, no kills picked up. Blaze Olive showing up on the top side of the map. He's just going to be trying to pick up this outer turret for himself. And Rift Herald has spawned back onto the map. Something that we were talking about earlier is the ability to access that second Herald, which is going to be huge for what should be the next play coming out by Golden Guardians Academy here, which is trying to break that mid lane outer turret. Now, we already see Sejuani has moved her way up to the top side of the map, is starting up this Rift Herald. I'd like to see this play already. Misfortune, also in the mid lane, positioning your bot lane around the top side so that you have the man advantage. Fantastically played here by Golden Guardians Academy in order to make sure they're on time for the objectives. Infernal also is not spawning for another 20 seconds here, which means they have plenty of time in order to burn this objective down, pick it up, go mid lane with the Rift Herald, force the turret down, and then rotate over to the dragon. So already, they pick up the Rift Herald, step 1 complete. Now, they need to move towards the mid lane and start looking for mid lane minion wave prio. Shove out the wave, force the opponent to respond, force them to understand the situation that they're in, that they do not have control of this game. They are instead going to be going straight towards the dragon because they've already developed the mid lane priority that we were mentioning before. So, an Infernal Dragon, again, another free objective being picked up by Golden Guardians Academy here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Infernal will be the sole dragon of this game, so we're going to be sitting on this one for a little while here. 2 dragons available for Golden Guardians Academy, only 1 dragon picked up by the side of FlyQuest Academy. And so we need at least 2 more dragons before we see that soul being picked up. Hopefully Golden Guardians is going to be able to find that one clean and simple, as they do have quite a massive lead at this point in the game. Now we see them sitting around mid lane. As I mentioned before, second Rift Herald is used purely for picking up this mid lane outer turret in order to break it open for these mid-game macro rotations. Baron will be spawning in about 3 minutes here. We are sitting at 17 minutes into the game. And so you need to start looking for those deeper ward coverages in about the next minute or two, honestly. If you want to really start snowballing and pressuring an early Baron at the 20-minute mark, you have to break that outer turret in the mid lane in order to provide an avenue for invades into the enemy jungle in order to get that deep ward coverage, in order to make it a safe objective, in order to be able to pressure these inner turrets as well. Instead, Golden Guardians Academy resetting, spending all their gold, doing a fantastic job here of not overstaying and overcommitting for objectives, and instead going to be looking for as much ward coverage around this mid lane as possible, going into what is going to be their next play, which should be a team fight in the mid lane. You see, though, FlyQuest Academy deciding, no, we're going to start this one on our terms. Braum ultimate thrown out to try and keep that one going, but instead, a great disengage by the side of Golden Guardians Academy there, as Huhi was forced to flash away from that one. Double ultimates coming out from the bot lane in order to try and force it, only to get the flash of the support set. Not the greatest trade for FlyQuest Academy, but what it does mean is that they have forced Golden Guardians to back off at least for a little while. Stalling out the game is what FlyQuest needs to be doing here in order to try and find themselves back into this one. You have an Azir, you have a Varus, and you have the Ornn. All three of these laners, fantastic in mid to late game team fights as long as they're able to get the itemization that they need. In particular, Ornn wants to be looking to get his 2-item power spike with Sunfire Cape and Abyssal Mask, and then upgrade those items. We love talking about the Ornn itemization here. I believe it's Alice that refers to it as the ornaments, which I think is a fantastic name for it. But Abyssal Mask, which upgrades into the Infernal Mask, is an absolutely insane item. It's worth, I think, 1,700 gold worth of stats, compared to whereas every other Ornn item is worth just about 1,000. Do see a fight being forced in the mid lane, though. Hard throws out the ultimate to begin with onto Mash, who he trying to keep that one going, but Mash is able to get away from that one safely. Chain Corruption is going to be able to lock up Huhi, but it's not going to be enough damage as a Haymaker is able to return that one up to Fnatic. MF now is able to find a kill for himself, but is going to be trading 1-for-1 with Triple. Finds the shutdown onto Gorica. So at the end of a day, 2-for-1, but FlyQuest able to prevent that fight from going too far south, and they're stopping the siege from that point on. Big shutdown coming in for Triple there in order to pick up that kill onto MF, sitting on the IE and Essence Reaper, but it will mean that Triple is able to complete his Nash's Tooth and pick up that Lost Chapter as well. Been sitting on the Lost Chapter for a while, but the Nash's Tooth will be a huge itemization pickup here in order to provide the extra DPS he needs. And to go back to the point we were making before, Ornn is level 12 now, is starting to work on that Abyssal Mask. It's going to be a pretty big deal once he's able to pick that up and get the upgrade for it. But more importantly, I need to start seeing the rest of FlyQuest Academy start building Ornn items here. Naster's Tooth, I don't believe, is one you really want to see either the Luden's Echo or, more importantly, a Rabadon's being picked up by Triple here. Mash, you would love to see, you know, an Infinity Edge into the Molten Edge is really what you want to see coming out by Avaris, or in the AD carry position. You do like to see the Rabadons and IEs being upgraded the most often because of the pure just damage stats that they give you. However, Blade of the Road King can be upgraded here for Mash. If he's going that on-hit build, it is not a bad idea. It does provide additional attack speed and AD, so not a bad pickup for Avaris, who wants to be itemizing into more attack speed to get those W procs out there and getting more auto attacks out once he has completed that Gunsu's Rage Blade that he's also working on. So, need to keep an eye on Revenge. Make sure that he's getting those itemizations out almost towards that Abyssal Mask. Once he starts getting the correct levels, he'll also be able to start upgrading his team's items. But let's flip it back over to Golden Guardians and start talking about their itemization. I mentioned it before. Gorica sitting on the 2-item power spike, i.e. Essence Reaver. 50% crit chance, an insane amount of damage coming out for this MF pick, and is really the reason that the champion is so strong right now. Piled on top of your passive, having the ability to do so much upfront damage, MF just simply out-stat checks people when she's able to find that 2-item power spike. And from there, it's also going to be able to apply to her double up. Every time she Qs, it's going to hit 2 different people with crit potential. The ultimate also is going to be making use of all that flat AD and the crit potential. And just all this combined makes Miss Fortune such a powerful AD carry in the current meta. We do see Infernal Dragon being picked up by Golden Guardians Academy, but FlyQuest taking this opportunity to rush towards the Baron. They thought they could get the cheese in there, but Golden Guardians say, no, we smell something happening here, throwing out the Scrying Orb in order to see that one going on and forcing FlyQuest Academy to immediately back away from that one. Unfortunately, they could not find that neutral objective because they are now facing Soul Point coming out by Golden Guardians Academy. They tried to trade the objective there, giving over the Infernal Dragon for what was an attempt at Baron, and unfortunately it did not work out for them, which means 3 dragons now picked up for Golden Guardians. That second Infernal going to be looking mighty scary for Gorica, who's going to really enjoy having that additional 8% AD on top of all the additional damage that he has with those items that we mentioned before. Now, we are still waiting for Victor to complete his Luden's Echo. He has completed his main Victor item though, which is a pretty big deal. It's going to allow him to upgrade his abilities, such as getting additional slows on all of his abilities. The E will have a second explosive damage behind it, and what's really kind of, I think, the most underrated but most important upgrade is going to be the Q upgrade, which gives him extra movement speed every time he throws out the Q, on top of the shielding that it gives, on top of the Lich Bane proc that it gives on his next auto attack. And that's what lets Victor do exactly what Ablaze Olive is doing currently, which is going into these side lanes, clearing out the waves using the E. But if anybody were to show up to try and contest him, he just hits him with the Q, bops him with the auto attack, and then quickly runs away because he gets so much additional speed from that Q upgrade that he's so hard to pin down. On top of the fact that he has the gravitation field to stop anybody who just walks straight at him, like Kindred or Ornn, who's going to most likely be the people trying to answer him in the side lane. It's extremely difficult to hold him down. We are going to see Golden Guardians Academy trying to start up this Baron instead. Just clearing out the ward coverage there. Revenge sticking around, abusing the Fog of War here in order to try and keep vision on this Baron and make sure that the enemy is not starting that one up. He will finally be seen. It's a little sketchy there. 007 coming up by Revenge here. Secret Agent Man keeping an eye on the Baron pit. But FlyQuest Academy will know that that Golden Guardians Academy was looking at it rather intensely there for a second. Instead, going to be backing away here as Golden Guardians know they cannot steal this one away. Instead, going to be looking for the ward coverage around this top side of the map. As we mentioned before, the Rift Herald was used in order to drop that outer mid lane turret in order to provide the opportunity for this ward coverage to come in. However, FlyQuest Academy not giving up the wards that easily, as we do see they have most of their own jungle warded up here, trying to go in and sweep out whatever other wards are there. Huhi though, Huhi and Hard trying to find a way in to prevent these wards from being cleared out as they continuously force these wards deeper and deeper into the FlyQuest Academy red topside jungle. Revenge on the bottom side of the map. When Baron is pressured as much as it is in this current game state, you start sending your top laners towards the bottom side. They are the players with the teleport available, so providing that additional pressure in the bottom side of the map for FlyQuest Academy will hopefully buy time in order to stall out this game, continuing to try and just prolong the game, prolong what feels like an inevitable defeat at this point. They've managed to do a great job of slowing this one down so far. From what was a 6k gold lead before has only gone up to a 7k gold lead in the past 10 minutes. So FlyQuest doing a great job of slowing this one down. We see on-screen triple just getting the upgraded Luden's Echo. We also do see in the itemizations that upgraded Blade of the Ruin King has been completed as well. So Orange starting to hit those item power spikes. Revenge getting jumped on, but 4 members of FlyQuest Academy are sitting on the backside of this fight trying to wait for this one. You do not want to start the fight with the Orange. The Ornhorn has been canceled. That is Huhi with the Showstopper is able to stall that one away. There is no re-engage going to be available from FlyQuest, and it will be Huhi picking up a kill onto Revenge. The Cannon Barrage also stopping a re-engage from the rest of FlyQuest Academy. They're fantastically played by Huhi on the set support, not giving an opportunity for FlyQuest Academy to turn that fight around on what started as a pick onto Revenge. And now with the inner track on this mid lane, they're going to be able to pick up the inhibitor turret. Again, Huhi trying to start this one, forcing a flash out of JJ. Bash not respecting Zion Spartan, who's going to be able to flash in there and pick up a kill as well. Inhibitor will be dropping down in the mid lane. And we were just talking about FlyQuest Academy being able to slow this one down, but just like that, they find the pick onto Revenge, which allows them to pick up this mid lane inhibitor. They now have access to whatever objective across the map they want. They are going to be choosing to pick up this third and final Infernal Dragon, which will mean Dragon Soul picked up for Golden Guardians. Revenge teleporting in like a speedy Ramboy he is, but will not find anything on the backside of that one. Instead, is he going to get picked off again here? He's going to have to charge forward. Huhi going forward with the Q speed again, finds the E, finds the pullback. That is going to be another stun coming out, but this time Fnatic is able to find his way onto a Blaze Olive on the backside of the fight. Will chunk out this Victor extremely low. Is the Kindred going to be able to find something? No, unfortunately not. Revenge forces stopwatch on the backside of this fight as well. Morika will find that one, but now Zion Spartan dropping extremely low. If there is a time for this team fight to go well for FlyQuest Academy, this should be it, but Ash gets picked off again by Gorka and Fnatic. No! The flash coming in from hard. He finds the dash and flash, and Sejuani is on point still with these picks onto the vital carries of FlyQuest Academy, which means Infernal Soul was just picked up. They tried to find a turnaround fight here, but now it is going to be the Baron also being picked up by the Golden Guardians Academy. This should be the end of the game in the next 3 minutes here for Golden Guardians Academy. You have the Infernal Soul. You have a 10k gold lead at 28 minutes into the game, and now they are going to have the Baron with the down inhibitor in the mid lane as well. Golden Guardians going to be taking their victory walk back to base and should be able to finish this one up cleanly in just the next minute or two here. Items have been bought, taking a look for Golden Guardians Academy. MF has a disgusting build. It's just nothing but BS swords, ladies and gentlemen. Now it is going to be a Bloodthirster sitting on top of the already built IE and Essence Reaver. And, you know, throw an extra crit cloak in there as well. Might as well, 70% crit chance. Why not? You know, just completely two-shot anybody who doesn't have more than 2,000 health, i.e. Mash and Triple, or Fnatic for that matter. So, Golden Guardians Academy, of course, already have the down mid lane inhibitor, are going to be just rotating towards this top side. This should be a free inner turret. Gangplank is on the bot side, the 4-0-1. You'll love to see it. Classic, easy macro play coming out by Golden Guardians Academy here. They will be able to pick up this inhibitor turret as well. FlyQuest Academy just not on top of the rotation there, was not able to get to that top side quick enough. The inhibitor will be falling down. The Ornhorn drop to try and continue this fight. They do not want to give over too much. Fnatic trying to get his way onto Huki here, but the front line is just too strong by Golden Guardians Academy. Bullet Time comes out and deals so much damage to the backline, but a Blaze Olive comes in with a triple kill and is able to absolutely decimate the side of FlyQuest Academy. That is a quadra kill for the mid laners of Golden Guardians Academy. GG!